Bonjour! Well, here's the series Tout le monde parle de, and where we're looking at verb tenses. In particular, we're going to look at le présent and régulier, meaning the present tense with regular verb conjugations. So let's look at this word conjugate. It comes from Latin, and what it means is to join up or to match up. What are we matching up in conjugation? What we have to match up is someone or something that is doing an action or is in a state of being. The person or the thing are referred to grammatically as the subject pronoun, and the action or the state of being is referred to as being the verb. So the person or the thing will affect and change the spelling of the action and the state of being. So the subject pronoun will affect the verb depending on who it is or what it is that is doing the action. Let's look at different subject pronouns that exist. So what are the different variations of subject pronouns that will affect the spelling, affect and change the endings of our verbs, our actions? So the different ones we have available to us are I, you, he, she, one, or it, we, including me, you all, so not including myself, and in common English we sometimes just say you, or we say you all, you guys, or in good old Australian English, a lot of times you hear people say yous, and they, so referring to a whole other group of people. These 6 different subject pronouns that we have to use will each affect and change the ending of our verb, of our action, in a different way. So we'll have 6 different alternative endings when we look at the endings of verbs. So the subject pronoun will affect our action, our verb. Okay, let's have a look at this a bit more closer. What we'll start off with is looking at the endings of verbs in French, of course, which end in ER. So all these verbs that end in ER, as long as they're regular conjugations, they'll behave in the same way. So they'll take the same types of changes of endings that we're just about to apply. So say you've got a verb like jouer, to play. Jouer, if we refer to I, we use I, so I play. I say je joue. And what I've done is I deleted, so I've underlined ER, so I've deleted ER, and in its place, I've put E. Now this sounds really silly, but it's a good habit to get into, because later on down the track, when you're having to do more regulations for different tenses, different times, you're always going to be reducing your verb to its stem like this. So you get into the habit of deleting the ER. Even if you're adding an E, just keep it simple, use the same rule and you'll do fine. To, you, we add an ES, so get rid of the ER, add ES. Il, elle, and un, he, she, one, it, get rid of the ER, add E. Nous, we, get rid of the ER and jouer and add ONS. Vous, you all, you guys use, get rid of the ER, add EZ. And il, elle, they, for boys and then girls. Or il can refer to a group of boys and girls, mixed gender. Get rid of the ER, add ENT, even though it's not pronounced at all. So one thing to pay attention to at this moment, English translations. In English, we have many different ways of expressing something that's happening in the present time, in the present moment, in the present tense. For example, in French, we just say the one form of present tense, je joue, to mean all of these translations in English, to mean all of these. So if we say I play I do play in English. I play basketball. I am playing basketball. Yeah, I do play basketball. Then we just say je joue in French. Je joue, I repeat, means all of these three. There's no other alternative in French. For example, je joue au basket means all of these. And that's the same for all our 6 different alternatives. They'll have all of these types of English translations. One thing I also want you to pay attention to right now is that, so why are they split up like this in the table? Well, as you might be able to see from these images, there is only one person involved in this subject pronoun. So we call it singular, single, singular. With we, you, all, and they, there is more than one person involved in that subject pronoun. So we refer to that as plural, 2 or more. Okay. Now they're also organized very neatly. These are the perspective. So first person, meaning just referring, I'm included in that, it's I. Second person, you, because it's the second person from me. And third person is, so I've moved on from myself, moved on from you, and now I'm talking about perhaps about a third person involved. So it's moved from first person, second person, third person. I, you, he, she, one. Same thing happens for plurals for when there's more than one person involved in the subject pronoun. We involves myself, so that's first person plural. You all doesn't involve me, so it's the next step on. It's the second person, you all, second person plural. And they is our third person plural because it doesn't involve you. I'm talking about them, they. Okay? So that's why we set it up in this type of table format, and we'll continue to look at verbs in this way, verb conjugations. So let's look at the next type of regular conjugation that happens with present tense, and that is verbs in French that end with re, such as vendre, to sell. So just like before, I get rid of those last 2 letters. Get rid of re. For je, I add s. For tu, I add s. For il et le un, I add nothing. So just the delete. For nous, I do that ONS, which was just like before. For vous, I add EZ. And for il, elle, I add ENT. That is our RE regular conjugation endings. Once again, they have all of these English translations. All of this just refers to the one possibility in French. Let's look at the final verb ending for regular conjugations in the present tense, and that are ones that end in IR. Typically, for regular conjugations, present tense in French, we look at these verbs, and there's a few more in this list, but these are common ones you'll need to know at school and you'll use quite often. Finir, to finish, choisir, to choose, réussir, to succeed, and maybe not so much this one, but trahir, to betray. So once again, we're deleting the IRs and we're going to use finir for this example. So I've deleted IR, and for je, I've added IS. For tu, I've added IS. For il et le un, I've added IT. Now this is where it gets a little bit more creative. For nous, I add ISSONS. For vous, I add ISSEZ. And for il and elle, I add ISSENT. Maybe I'll just say these for you so you can hear it. So nous finissons, make it nice and hissy, lots of S. Vous finissez, il or elle finissent. They're beautiful sounding verbs. So let's just put it to a bit of a rhythm. ER ending conjugations. We have E, ESE, ONS, EZ, ENT. For RE endings, we add SS nothing, ONS, EZ, ENT. And for IR regular conjugation endings, we have ISISIT, ISSONS, ISSEZ, ISSENT. So they're all of our regular conjugations that we have to know for the present tense, and you can apply those endings to other verbs, and there's so many of them that will have the regular conjugations. And in the next video, we'll look at some irregular conjugations that commonly occur in French. So how about you have a little go by yourself, see if your memory can serve you well. Have a go at applying these different subject pronouns, each 6 of them, and how they change these verbs. Jouer with the ER ending, vendre with the RE ending, and finir with the IR ending. See if you can do these conjugations either in your head, say them out loud, or have a go at writing them down. That's all for now. Au revoir tout le monde.